And we're back on this week's episode of the ETBU Coaches Show. You know the drill. I'm Mark. This is Kenneth the K-Rock Klein, and we're here with head volleyball coach Keely Peterson. Coach, you guys had one match this past week facing LeTourneau out in Longview, their place, only 30 minutes away. So the one match, and then you were off this weekend. So kind of talk about where your team is here at this point of the season after the one match against LeTourneau.
Well, we talked a lot after the game about, like we're halfway through conference. And so, right now we're sitting tied with LeTourneau at second. So, just what we have to do to, finish where we want to finish, and the steps we need to take, and what we need to focus on to make sure we're ready. So, we talked a lot about finishing and minimizing our own errors, and that's pretty much what really got us was we made a lot of mistakes, and we have to be able to minimize that in order to be more successful. So we worked a lot in practice this past week about being on top of that, and like I said, we sat down, we looked at standings. The girls set goals at the very beginning of the season. They worked on them all summer and brought them in, and we talked about them individually with the team about, this is what my goals are for myself. These are our goals for our team, and we went back over those to, just kind of do a self-check and see where we are in meeting the goals that we set early in the season. And some of the girls felt like they were right on track. Some of them, you could see in their faces, were like, I got some work to do. So, that's ultimately kind of what this is about, is making sure we're achieving the goals we want and really being ready to go for the next round. And we start out big with a big game. So, we're really excited to, take this weekend and the recovery we had, and, to really use that pushing forward through the rest of the season. This break honestly came at a really good time, for us to just get over sickness, injuries, focus on school before we hit it hard through November, up until November.
So this week, of course, you have 3 games. All of them are here. Starting things off with tomorrow night, you got a rematch with the University of Texas Dallas. Last time you played them, even though you got swept, it really was like a hard-fought 3-set series. So just kind of talk about things that you need to do just to kind of get over that hump in order for you to have a chance to win.
Well, I think it still boils back down to minimizing errors. When we played them at their place, we weren't very on top of our serve receive. We really struggled, and that's an area that our girls are really hungry. That's a game, we beat them here last year, and that's a game that we want to, hold to and really focus on. And, the girls know that they're very capable of doing something big tomorrow night. So I believe it's actually Student Appreciation Night, if I'm right. So everybody come out, because we can really use some support. It'd be fun. It should be a fun matchup, and they always have some big swings, and they're always really, really disciplined, and they pick up pretty much everything we throw their way. So, it should be a fun game to watch, and we're excited.
And Coach, you have a 3-game homestand, just as we alluded to earlier. So UTD Tuesday, and then you finish off the week with Louisiana College in Belhaven. And as you were telling me before the show, Louisiana College taking a game from UT Tyler. So not a game, a set rather, from UT Tyler. Set, folks, not a game. But facing that team again, after seeing a near upset there, what's kind of your mindset there when you face those guys once again here?
Well, when we played them last time, they had a player who was ineligible, and she's a transfer from Blinn. I believe she's foreign, so she's somebody who comes in with some different types of experiences than some of our girls have had. Some of our girls, we went to Serbia, so we saw some of that different kind of play. And she was out, and when they brought her back, and she was eligible, and they started taking people. They swept Belhaven. Who else did they beat? There was somebody else they took. They won 2 different conference matches, which was a complete, a pretty good little turnaround, a good start for them, considering last year being their first year and just kind of getting the ropes of everything. But we know that's kind of a huge thing. You can't underestimate anybody in our conference. It doesn't matter if it's their second year with a volleyball program, or if they're going Division II, or whatever the case may be. Everybody can play. So our girls know to not ever doubt anybody, to have respect for every opponent, and they're outside. She's getting them. She's doing big things for them. So it adds a new dynamic to their play that we're going to have to pay attention to, and they can spread the ball across the court a little bit better. But Belhaven, they're a good little team too. And I think last time we talked about them, I brought up how their coach, he really gets those girls to do amazing things, and he actually has a lot of Texas girls. So it's kind of like a coming home match for some of his girls. So they end up always having a decent amount of fans when we play here. So it's always kind of fun to play Belhaven at home.
Now, Coach, also I looked at the schedule, and this Saturday I couldn't help but notice that it's also going to be your senior night, as you have, last year you had one senior in Abby Weaver, which obviously it was very nice, and, we miss her so, but this year you have a lot more quality players on your team that are seniors, so just kind of talk about, those girls and what they meant to your time here.
Well, it's crazy. We're actually graduating. It looks like we're graduating 4. We are graduating 5 this year. Natalie Coburn is graduating in the spring as a sophomore. So, I didn't think about it until she came in. She goes, "Well, what am I doing for senior night?" I was like, "Senior night? I forgot you're leaving." And it's just so crazy because she's so young to think that she's graduating too. But we have 3 that are 4-year athletes, and Paige, Elise, and Allison, and they were pretty pivotal in making sure this program stands together and holds together. I didn't have them their freshman fall season. I had them in the spring, and so they're a great group of just understanding like what the program was, where we're going with the program, and they really bought into this team and really focused on like, we don't want to go down the wrong road. We want to make sure we're all bought in. We're going to hold everybody accountable, and they've been huge in that aspect. And then we have Karina, who came in as she's a 2-year transfer, so she came from Eastfield, and she brought, just a huge amount of experience. She played for Eastfield, and they went and they were runner-up at the national finals for JUCO, and it was a huge ad for us because she knows how to win. And unfortunately, she got hurt in that season, so she's very hungry. She wants success, and she really holds everybody accountable for that. And her leaving, and honestly, all 5 of them leaving, is just a huge loss for us because they've been so pivotal. They've been a huge part of this program, and we're just so thankful for all 5 of them and everything that they've done for us. And we're excited to be able to honor them on Saturday and pull out a win for them. Knock on wood. That's not even wood. But, we want to pull out a win for them and show them, just how much they've meant to us. And we always do a little team get-together afterwards. And then there's a football game. So what better way to celebrate than go to a football game afterwards, too?
Absolutely, Coach. And you guys will be playing a 3-game homestand. So hopefully you guys will come out and support ETBU's volleyball team. We'll be back with our next head coach. You'll see who it is on the other side of this break. Stay tuned.